from our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
When technology collides with entertainment, on this edition of the Tech Ranch, we will be discussing how technology has changed entertainment, whether it's for the good or the bad. Yen Chen from Moments and Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino will be joining in to discuss the topic as well, and also some updates on drones that everyone will be interested in. At the control panel, producer extraordinaire, Jim Walsh.
Hi.
How's it going, man?
Not too shabby.
A little warm over the weekend?
Oh, it's very warm over the weekend. I was out running errands. Oh, I went to your favorite place in Mandan, what's the bar and grill?
Oh, Station West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good place. The burgers were great.
Yeah, everybody raves about the burgers.
Yeah, I
there.
love the burgers.
Yeah,
it's just a little hole-in-the-wall kind of place.
Yeah. Well,
and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, it was actually more of a hole-in-wall before they remodeled it. Yeah. So they did a nice job, of course.
And the gal who runs the place, she was great.
Yeah. It's a great place. It really is. So, yeah, I'm glad you were there. So did you get over to the water slide?
No, I did not.
Slide the City?
Sorry to say I could not get over there this
weekend. I know
weekend.
Town Square was part of that event. So, and, not to bring that into the conversation, but it kind of leads into my drone talk today. So,
well, do tell.
As I was there, I seen a couple drones flying over the top. So, it is interesting. And I know it's new, but I would imagine some people did comment on it that they were kind of uncomfortable, and more from a safety aspect, more so than it probably, the people who were flying them were recording the event.
They weren't so much concerned about the surveillance aspect.
Right. Because it's really not much different than, there were, I would bet 90% of the people who attended took photos and video of the event as well.
Sure.
My son-in-law was there, and he had a GoPro-like camera, an HD action cam, actually, that he used as he was sliding down the slide. And for those who are not familiar with the event, they close off the city street on a hill, and it's called Slide the City. And basically, it's 1,000-foot water slide right down the city, and very, very well attended. Of course, it was almost 100 degrees that day, so I'm sure that helped a little bit, although I think it was pretty much sold out before the event.
Yeah, usually these videos, you see somebody's feet, and they're just flying.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly how the videos were that I was watching. But when you talk to people about the drones a little bit, they're like, is it actually legal for them to be flying above this event?
Good question.
And those type of things, and it's kind of a gray area right now. So, but it is interesting. The FAA has actually put out an app. The official app shows where it's legal to fly drones.
Oh.
And you can go grab the app, and it'll actually show you if it's illegal for you to fly the drone in that area. And it also shows you the legalities of it. Can you fly up to 400 feet or whatever? And I don't know how many people are probably going to use this, but I think in the future, I think the challenge that the FAA has is enforcement of laws.
Now, is this something that's constantly updating? Because obviously the laws are constantly updating.
Yeah, they try to keep, as best they can, try to keep up to date with the legal areas of flying. And most of it, the laws are changing a lot, of course, rather quickly.
The legislature is currently working on it.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's also the things about how close can you fly to an airport and all of that stuff, too.
Military bases.
Exactly. And
missile
of course,
bases. We still got missile bases.
We do. And then there's also other no-fly zones. And people can actually go on to another site, and I forget the name. It might be noflyzone.com. I will check on that, and we'll get back to everybody on that. But you can actually go register your house or your business as a no-fly zone for drones.
And I didn't know that.
And then people, in the future, when you buy a drone, this information will be there, and it'll tell you, hopefully, that you're not supposed to fly in here, and that you'll obey that rule. And I'm going to guess that this app that I'm talking about here will also reflect those no-fly zones that people request.
Well, I'm sure there's some way that they can rig it so that if you get near one of these zones, a little alarm will go off.
Right.
And, we can't go there.
Right, exactly. And then there's the so you have that. So I would certainly, if you're flying drones or concerned about somebody who's flying a drone, you can go on the app and just grab the app and download on your phone, and it'll tell you if it's legal to be there or not. Now, on the event side, the safety aspect, first of all, you have to have somebody who's skilled enough to fly them.
Yeah.
And there's different levels of drones. There are some that almost fly themselves, which I'm going to get to in a second. And then there's some, like what I've been teaching my grandson how to fly, because I want him to get used to the controls and that type of thing. But he crashes it all the time. But I crash it even more. I just want to clarify that, but it's just a remote control that you're using to fly the drone. Now, that particular type of drone, I would not trust in a crowd. Just could not trust it. But if it's computer, if the computer on the drone, you pre-program a flight to go down 6th Street or whatever it is and then come back home, that's a different story because the computer takes it over and flies it, gets into trouble, it'll come back home.
Have you found that some brand names are noticeably better, more controllable than others?
Absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, the one that I actually have on my paper here.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a pilot, private pilot.
Yes.
And it harkens back to the days when ultralights were all the rage. And I asked him about it one time. He said it really depends on the make and model. There are some I wouldn't trust to fly across the driveway.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's some I would trust with my life.
Absolutely. And the same thing is true with drones. And you can go out and get a $30 or $40 drone, and you get what you pay for. Yeah. So a company called DJI, they're probably the leaders in commercial and recreational UAVs. They have come out with their Phantom 3 drone. Now, they had a Phantom 1, Phantom 2, and excellent drones, by the way. And they're the more expensive ones have GPS built into them.
Yeah.
So what happens is generally on the remote control, there's a place that you can, have it come home and that type of thing. Now, this Phantom 3, pretty cool. It's almost impossible to crash it.
Oh.
Because when you take off, what happens is you push the takeoff button, and it goes to about 5 feet and hovers. And then you start to fly it. So you're not taking off from the ground. It just automatically goes to about 5 feet, and then you start taking control of it if you want. And most of the time, you'll have a pre-programmed flight plan in there that you can see, or if you're going to fly it or whatever. And at any time you get in trouble, you push home, and it just comes home and lands softly.
By itself.
Right, by itself.
I love it.
And that's the way that these things have to be. So another thing that I think is going to happen at events is that you're going to have somebody who's going to start blocking signals. Like you can block a cell phone signal. I think at events you're going to start seeing these event coordinators start blocking drone the frequency that you use to fly drones, because if you don't want to have, or if you need to protect the people, because that's the biggest concern, I think, is that people feel unsafe. Because what could a person do with a drone? I mean, could you fly it into somebody? That's probably not going to hurt anybody too much. But there's a lot of other things that are devious here that
well, you can attach explosives. I mean, we're not giving. I don't think we're giving anybody
Absolutely
any
not.
ideas.
Everybody knows exactly.
Figured out for
Everybody
themselves.
knows exactly what we're talking about here. And you could, but you can just take the signal down, and then they can't fly in there at all. So anyway, after the break, everybody, we will have Yen Chen, and he is with Moments Sound, and we're going to be talking about a new way to karaoke. Karaoke? How do you say it, Jim?
Karaoke.
All right, that's what we're going to be talking about.
Right now, 70.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank all the listeners across the country and around the world who join us on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network, on Tuned In, on the Roku, on Apple TV, although they just listen to us on Apple TV. But we are streaming today on Meerkat. So we want to thank all the people who are joining us on Meerkat, and we have actually quite a few people who have joined us. Hopefully they're hearing our entire conversation. That's the one thing that we don't really know for sure yet, if they're hearing the entire broadcast, Jim, or if they're just hearing us in the studio. So hopefully they're hearing the whole thing. So we'll find out a little bit later on. But thank you, everybody at Meerkat. We really appreciate that. So, Mr. Jim, are you a karaoke fan?
I have been known to partake in the pastime.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you... unlike me, I would need a lot of courage before I get up there. Do you need a little liquid courage before you get up there, too?
Just a little.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want too much, because then you start doing that. But basically, I need enough just to kind of loosen my vocal cords.
Okay.
Because as a radio announcer, I don't really have a problem with my voice, putting my voice before the public.
Sure.
I've never had a problem with that. But as far as singing is concerned, because I'm naturally an uptight kind of guy anyway, I use the alcohol to just relax it a little bit so I can hit those notes. So I'm not too pitchy when I'm hitting the notes.
So obviously you like to do this, and do you have a couple favorite things that you like to sing?
Well, I like the great vocalists with the limited range, like Sinatra. Sinatra had a very limited range,
okay,
but what he could do within it was extraordinary. A very soulful performer.
Sure.
Sinatra used to listen to records of classical violin players, and that's where he developed his particular tonal style.
Okay.
Was trying to emulate the violins. Another guy, and I'm really dating myself here. I'm not that old a guy, but there was a singer in the 50s named Jim Reeves. He was a country, back what they used to call country western.
My dad was a guitar player and a vocalist as well, and Jim Reeves was one of his favorite people too.
Yeah. There are certain vocalists from that era, really great. Elvis was another one, a baritone, not really that wide a range, but he just knew how to do interesting things. Elvis's great gift was he always brought something new to every song. One of his songwriters said there are two artists who always brought something new to every session, Elvis and Ray Charles.
Okay.
But Jim Reeves, had a very limited range, but it was a very silky smooth and very soulful performance. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. I like that.
Yeah,
I love that kind of music.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Marty Robbins, another guy.
Yeah,
Marty Robbins.
And of course, how we do karaoke has changed a lot. Of course, it used to be in the bars and that type of thing. Now you can bring it home with you and do all kinds of fun things. And we have the co-founder of Moments with us, Yen Chen. Yen, how you doing?
Hi, good morning, Marlo.
Yeah. Glad to have you on the show today.
Great to be here.
So you guys are actually kind of redefining how karaoke is going to move forward here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have created?
Sure. So Moment is the name of the product that we've created. So it's the world's #1 soundbar. So it's the world first. And it has karaoke and also DTS True Surround function built in.
So this unit is a sound bar, and it has a woofer, a separate woofer that's attached to it, and it has a wireless microphone, of course. So very, very easy. My first question, I guess, when I was looking at it, Yen, was that the sound bar part of it, can you utilize it like with your TV and things as well?
Yes, you can. So what we set out to do here was to build a sound bar that everybody can use. And it's very compact at only 16-inch. So this is space that everyone can afford. So even if you're a student living in a dorm, or if you only have a small apartment, you can still afford this space for the soundbar, unlike the conventional one.
Okay, so that's cool that you've combined both of these into one unit. So then next, you want to change this. Let's say you're having a little get together and you want to do a little karaoke. How do you make the transition from this being something that you use strictly for your television to a karaoke machine?
Right. So that's where the magic comes in, because with Moment, you get the subwoofer, which is wireless, and you get the microphone, which is wireless as well. So it's a one-unit setup, and you can connect this to any device that you have. So, for example, today, I have a phone, or I have a tablet, or a computer, or even my smart TV, or my Roku. I can run apps from any of these devices, and they will play through Moment. And with the attached, wireless mic and subwoofer, I can start singing already.
So where do you get the content then? I mean, can you bring up a karaoke type of screen and that type of thing as well?
Right. So if with conventional setups, what you would do is you would probably connect it to a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, right?
Right.
Yeah. So with Moment, we can continue doing that, or we could go, 2015, and we could connect it to apps like Smule or apps like YouTube, and we can start singing from there.
Oh, so, and I've noticed this, not that I'm a karaoke, whatever you want to say. I don't get up and do a lot of this. Maybe I should one of these days, but I have noticed that there is quite a movement on YouTube to have karaoke singles on there that you can, of course, got the words scrolling by and you can kind of sing along.
Yes, that's right. So if you would go up to YouTube now and just do a search for karaoke, you would see a whole bunch of songs there. Some of these songs don't even appear if you go to a karaoke bar. Like, sometimes when you go to a karaoke bar, you flip through the songbook and you just can't find the song you're looking for.
Right, and I would imagine a lot of that has to do with licensing and all of that good stuff, where, of course, online, not that you don't have licensing issues there as well, but, you tend to be able to find more things when you need to.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. So is this available to the public yet?
Not at the moment. So what we're planning to do now is we're launching Moment through Indiegogo, and that is happening on the 22nd of September.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, if you're interested, you can come up to our website to read a little bit more about Moment before the actual Indiegogo campaign starts. So the website is moment-sound.com.
So moment-sound.com.
That's right.
And I'm assuming you have some, and I'm kind of leading you here a little bit, of course. I have been there and have seen all this already, but you have videos and that type of thing to show exactly how Moment works.
Yes, so we have a relatively short video at 3 minutes that goes through the features that Moments has. And after the video, there's also a few sections where you can read up more about the features, and there's also a small comparison chart that lets you see what is the difference between Moment and traditional karaoke setups.
So if the what's going to be the asking price on Indiegogo?
Right. So the initial launch price for Indiegogo would be at $199.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's versus the retail price of $399 after the campaign.
Okay. So you actually get a 50% break by hopping on the Indiegogo right now. And I guess the comparison I was going to make here, Yen, was that if you went out and got a good sound bar for your television, you would spend $200 for that. Easy.
Yes, that's right. Easily.
So the fact that you've combined a karaoke device into a sound bar is kind of, Jim's really interested now. You can see already that he's
warming up my vocal cords.
That's right. But I see a lot of practical uses for this, of course, and it certainly would be a lot of fun anytime you have a home party or whatever, that you could just turn your entertainment system just like that with your smart device, your tablet, your Roku, whatever you have, into a karaoke machine. That's actually pretty genius.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, most of us already have these devices. With Moment, you can continue using those same devices. You don't have to buy anything new, and you don't have to pay through your nose, for a karaoke setup.
Right, exactly. So, all right, everybody, you can go to moment-sound or -sound.com and check this out. And I'll have a link to your website as well, Yen, and try to keep everybody up to date with how the Indiegogo campaign is going. So, thanks a lot for being on the Tech Ranch.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Marlo.
You bet.
Thanks, Jim, as well.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care. Yeah, that's kind of cool, actually. A person can actually hop on there and do a little singing if you like. That's right.
The summer wind came blowing in from across that kooky sea.
That'll actually go well with your new piano.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say the new, but you've been actually moving forward with
I've
learning the
been taking up the piano again.
Yes.
I never really learned to play the damn piano. Now I'm actually trying to learn to play it.
Really?
I like to be a jazz player, like a Bobby Short kind of guy. One of these cocktail lounge kind of guy who plays the really cool jazz stuff.
Well, you used to play.
Yeah. I can kind of fake my way through a few things.
Okay.
I play the, Layla, the song, the pretty piano part at the end.
Yep.
I'm learning to play that now. It's really not that difficult. Just have to learn to, keep the timing going.
That's right. Keep talking as I'm fixing the equipment here.
This is called the big stall here. What happened? Did we have a streaming issue?
Well, I thought I would use my phone today instead of my tablet.
Oh.
Unfortunately, somebody called and disconnected our stream.
Shame on them.
I know. I'm going to have a talk with this person. They should know that we're on the air.
We're going to have a subtle chat. maybe a little slap on the wrist is in order.
Right.
Now, Katie's supposed to be calling in a couple of minutes, right?
Right, yeah. Katie will be here. We'll be talking more about how entertainment has collided with technology.
Our official future chickie person.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, and you think about this, our kids love technology.
Yeah.
They steal my phone all the time, whatever.
Toys,
yeah,
and
exactly.
we love all of our toys.
But isn't it funny that when you blow up a few balloons,
especially with helium.
I'm just saying that, we bought some balloons over the weekend, and I think you were commenting about a photo you seen on me or with Facebook, this
On
over the
Facebook,
weekend. Yeah.
you were playing horsey.
Yeah,
you were the
with,
horsey.
with the kids, and you don't have to spend a lot of money sometimes to entertain your children. I mean,
of course not.
You can go out and spend $1 on 100 balloons, and that'll entertain them for hours.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now blow them up and do stuff with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was kind of cool.
Fill them with water, throw them at each other.
Well, we did that. We had quite a water fight, actually, a water balloon fight on Saturday night as well. So
I entertained one of my cousin's kids on the beach one time. We made up a game called Spit Take.
Okay.
Now, bear in mind, we're on the beach. You
Yes.
can do this on the beach. We're
Yes.
sitting there in bathing suits. And basically, the idea was to tell each other these really stupid jokes and to make the other guy, he would drink some water, right? Then you tell him a joke and try to make him go,
Were you successful?
moderately so.
Okay, cool. Well, I think we're at that point here, so let's take a break, and then we will come back. And,
Yeah, Katie's on the line.
And,
Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Just in time for the break, Katie.
That's
so
right.
hang in there, and we'll be back.
And of course, we're also attempting to broadcast on Meerkat today. In fact, Jim, I'm going to swing this around.
Oh.
Let's see if you can give everybody a nice little wave.
Hi. Hello. Hi, Mom.
So if you're a Meerkat
I'm working
user,
again.
just for an hour or so, Jim. Though don't get her too excited there.
No.
But so you can go to thetechranch.com as well and join in on the Meercast broadcast. We'll know later on if it actually worked as it should.
Oh, we should get the
As
geezer
electric.
on the video.
We should do that.
Yeah, he's down the hall right now. He's
Okay.
having some streaming issues of his own. we
love
kid
it, yes.
because we love.
We do love
He'll
the
take some of
geezer,
that
yeah.
saw palmetto. He'll be in
Exactly.
prime shape in no time.
Exactly. So joining us on the phone, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. Katie,
hello.
how you doing?
Hello. I can see you on Meerkat. Hello.
Oh, really? Okay, so are you not to ask you technical questions on the air, but are you hearing the actual stream of everything, or are you just hearing us in the studio?
Let me see here because it was blasting music on my headphones. Let
Okay.
me see if I can hear you.
So are you hearing? All right, you can hear us.
Yay!
Yes,
But-
but it's a little bit delayed, slightly delayed, I'd have to say.
Well, of
Oh, it's
course,
like an echo,
of course, but
like an old Elvis record.
yeah.
Blue moon.
I think Meerkat runs about 20 to 30-second delay, something.
Oh,
like
that kind of delay.
But
Okay.
but I think Periscope is about the same thing. It
Yeah.
just takes a little bit of time to get it pushed out to everybody. So, well, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
I'll swing it back around here again, Jim. Give her a quick little...
Hi. Can you see me? Hey, I shaved this morning,
Whoa.
So funny.
Yeah, now everybody can see my hand.
and then he knocked it over.
Oh, my goodness.
See, this is why we can't have the good stuff.
Yeah, that's right. They don't give us the good stuff. We got to work with this other stuff.
we keep
'Cause
breaking stuff.
Yeah, we do break stuff all the time here. So, all right. Anyway, on to the show. So, the topic today is when entertainment and technology collide, and of course, there's a lot of areas that we can talk about here. And the first thing we're going to bring up is music. I'm assuming you had music on your list as well, Katie.
I did, but not so much. I'm curious. Let's see what you have on music because
Okay.
when I think of music today, it's I think about streaming. I think about there are a couple of advancements, but I'll get into other things as well. There's
Okay.
one that kind of combines all of those.
Well, I want to, and maybe we'll just do the music video thing together here, but, things have really progressed the last couple of years. But,
Yeah.
you think about back in the early days, we used wax. Actually, there were wax cylinders that you
Yeah.
would actually purchase that you could play music on.
The Edison thing.
Yes, exactly. And, of course, there was vinyl, and vinyl's been around for a long time
Yeah.
as well, and is actually kind of making a comeback.
Yeah, well, Neil Young just developed some kind of device, some digital device that he is claiming recaptures a lot of the warmth tonal warmth that we used to have in vinyl.
Well, and that's what they say is that, you know, that's what vinyl brings to the music spectrum, I guess, is that. And I find it interesting. Over the weekend, I was looking on Facebook and somebody had a picture of numbers 16, 33, 45, 78. And they were asking people if you know what these numbers are. And a lot of people, the millennials especially, had no clue what we were talking about. Of course, those are all speeds of records.
Yeah.
So you could change their speed.
33 and a third, actually.
Right. But a lot of record players would just have 33 on them. Yeah, of course. So of course, we went through that. Then, of course, we went to tape. Digital tape was a big deal for a little while.
Sure.
And then, of course, when Apple brought out digital with their iPod, that kind of changed the whole music spectrum. And now, you know, you can go into a superstore and even the music section or CDs. So I guess we got to throw CDs in there, of course. That kind of revolutionized things too. But that was kind of a digital thing. But you know, now you go into a store and what used to be aisles and aisles of music is down to one aisle.
Yeah.
And because everybody downloads everything now. So that's been the revolution there.
I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I had a lot of my dad's old records on 78. There were these. Yeah. I don't know what you would call it definitely wasn't plastic. It was more like glass.
Okay.
That these things were made out of.
I've seen some of those translucent
acetate type things. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, things have really changed a lot.
I got an old Elvis record on 78, one of his first records.
Okay. All right, so now that you got the old opinions out of the way, Katie, why don't you give us what's going to be coming at us?
Well, I think what's coming at us is going to be music and more algorithms and having better technology, having artificial intelligence, helping us discover more music in the perfect kinds of music that we want to listen to, and also helping us control the type of music that we want to listen to without having to lift a finger. And I think that that's where we're headed. I mean, now we're already getting used to algorithms through streaming services like Spotify or Pandora. You know, what we're listening to, it helps us discover new music, and and based off what we listen to and what we like and how many times we listen to a certain song, our profiles continuously develop to help us find new music in new bands, which is also great for a lot of musicians today. And that's one of the biggest discussed things in music right now is that, you know, there's artists that are saying that streaming is bad, but then there's also, there's a huge article, I think it was a while ago, it came out, and it was some musicians said, please pirate my music. And that's because all the file sharing and all these streaming services are helping people get discovered now, people who would have never been discovered maybe. So there are a lot of positives to it. But as far as where we're headed in the future with music, I think that, you know, we're going to have the ability to, you know, there's people working on EEG headsets. We could put on a headset, right? And just by thinking of a song or thinking of a beat or thinking of any kind of melody, we could, in the future, we'll be able to write our own music based off melodies that come into our own heads, which is completely amazing. Just imagine how that would just quicken the whole production service, right? If you could just think of a beat and then automatically go onto a computer and you can edit it, that would be amazing. And I think that's going to be changing the way that music gets developed and comes out. And I also think that for us consumers, we're not musicians. If we just like music and we want to find and discover more music, I think these technologies will help us find and discover music even faster than we have today through, say, Spotify or something similar.
I think it's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that as you noted, musicians nowadays are a lot less at the mercy of the major companies who are looking for the the big selling, all things to all people, lowest common denominator type of sound. Nowadays, if you have a sound that will appeal to a certain clique or a certain subculture, you can market yourself pretty much on your own to that group and be quite successful.
Yeah, and you're seeing more and more of that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things too, you know, you kind of, as you were talking, Katie, I was writing some notes down. So I picked up a Nexus set-top box. Are you familiar with these?
No.
Okay, so Google has, it's like a Roku, okay? But instead of a Roku, it runs Android KitKat or 4.4. So it's like your phone, you know, and comes up and you have your Play Store in there, just like your phone, and you have Google Movies and music or whatever. But you talk to it. So I bought this because I wanted to have something for the kids in the house, and you can actually pair a game controller to it via Bluetooth as well. So you can pull up and play Angry Birds, on your TV, or all these games that you normally play on your phone or your tablet are now on the big screen through here, and it works very well. I've played with these Android boxes for a couple of years. Most of them don't work very well. The Google Nexus set-top box works very, very well. And anyway, searching for music. So I just, put the search bar on and I said, that's Amore. And almost within a second, here comes Dean Martin's version.
When the moon hits your eyes.
Just starts playing, So the ability for us to actually search for things with our voice now, as opposed to looking through a bin of records or cassettes or CDs or going online and typing something in and trying to find it, that's over. You can just tell your TV or your device that this is what you want to listen to, and there it is.
Play Misty for me, and it will.
Yeah, and it will. It's pretty cool. It really is cool. So, all right, keep going, Katie.
Very cool. Well, as far as music goes, that's pretty much it. I have so many other things I'm excited to share with you guys about technology and entertainment.
Well, let's. Do you have something that you can share with us real short before the break?
Ooh.
Yeah, put you on the spot here.
What I was saying before about, going more into this type of mind-controlled devices that you could use. The BBC, right over in the UK, they came out with something that they called mind-controlled TV. But it's not just for TV. It's also going to be for music. And what's great is that they've been using these headsets, these EEG brainwave reading headsets that are very low cost, and they're only going to become more cheaper. And I think in the next couple of years, we'll be able to wear a headset and not only use it to control our televisions, but to control our music. And like I was saying before, it's going to be coming out. There's already prototypes that will allow us to switch any type of song. If we're listening to a song and we want to change the song that we're listening to, wearing a headset like this, paired with an app, you will be able to change the song, change the type of music you're listening to. And even based on your moods, there's also wearables that you'll be able to have everything connected. You'll have a wearables that will be able to measure your heartbeat and measure what emotions you're feeling. And based on that, in let's say the next 10, 15 years, it could be walking into your house and music will come on because it's music that goes with how you're feeling after your day.
All right, everybody. After then, we'll stop you right there, Katie. After the break, we'll continue this conversation. Come on back.
Right now, 73.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2, only on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And in studio, producer extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Walsh.
Uh-huh.
And joining us from the New York area, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino. Hey.
From the city that never sleeps.
That's right. We sure don't sleep.
I want to wake up in a... Sorry.
You still got karaoke on the mind, don't you, Jim? Yeah. So we're talking about how entertainment collides with technology, and Katie was just going to bring us up to date on some other things besides music. So what else you got for us today?
Well, I think a lot is changing. If we want to look at the future and where we're headed as far as the type of entertainment we'll be interacting with, I think we have to look at how it's being made. And there's a lot of ways in which the entertainment industry itself is changing through emerging technologies like drones. Now, when we think about drones today, right, all of a sudden it seems like within the last year or two, you see all these photographers and videographers offering drone services where you could hire them to come and film even your wedding with a drone, right?
Exactly.
So, and it's changing. But the thing is, there's a problem with these types of photographers, videographers, because it is very neat, but for that professional look, we still have to rely on the old school. Why? Because, most of the drones out there today, they only fly GoPros and smaller cameras, which are great, and they have, a really high rating, and they do produce good videos, but they have that real cinematic look. you have to fly those bigger cameras. And now there are new companies emerging, one in particular that I actually met, that is creating their own custom UAVs for directors and specific kinds of productions. So they'll make a custom drone for a custom Hollywood movie. How cool is that?
That's very, very cool, and you're absolutely right. In fact, I had there's a company that's going to be marketing a drone that they just call the Flying Camera. It's designed specifically for, and I think most people think about drones and using cameras already, but you're absolutely right. They're taking it to a whole nother level and saying this isn't a drone, this is just a flying camera. You just operate it. You have a tracker you put on yourself or the people that you want to. If you're shooting a movie scene or whatever, and it'll just follow you around or follow that person around, and cool stuff. It really is.
It is, and see, the problem with traditionally filming these kinds of aerial scenes is that either A, you had to be in a really tall building, right? Which imagine being on a really tall building, you still have to worry about A, being on the top of the building, and looking down and not having your view obstructed, and there's issues there. And B, if you're going to get that aerial shot, most of the times it was with a helicopter.
Right.
Now you can imagine how much that costs, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So I believe that these drones are only going to become more cost efficient, and so that we'll be able to fly bigger objects. Right now, the problem is a lot of those drones that we can purchase for us being consumers, a lot of them can only carry those small SLR or GoPro cameras.
Right.
So anyway, this company is called AeroCine. It's AeroCine. And AeroCine, they're based in Brooklyn. And I met them at the Robo Universe event in New York City a couple of months ago. I believe it was around May. And I met the founder of the company. And he's an engineer who decided he wanted to build these custom drones. And not only that, but the company has filed for a petition for the FAA to allow them to fly their, in quotes, advanced UAS, which is unmanned aircraft systems, fleet within the National Airspace System. So that would be pretty neat, too.
Interesting. So, yeah, very, very cool. Okay. So what other cool stuff you got for us today?
All right. When I'm thinking about the future of entertainment, I'm thinking about my living room of the future. That's just like the first thing that comes to my mind, because that's what we all can relate to. We want to know how our living rooms will be transformed in the future. So where are our wall screens, right?
Yes.
I want to have a whole wall TV. I want to be able to have my entire wall turn into a television and be able to watch huge movies on my wall, right?
Okay.
Now, I saw that there is an OLED TV, those OLED TVs,
yes.
right? They're making new types of them. There's an LG display that comes with a peel-back magnetic wallpaper that you're now going to be able to peel back this magnetic wallpaper and put it on the wall, and it becomes, any wall can become a giant television or monitor screen.
So how big can they go with this?
They can go as big as you can have it. But the only thing is that you have to make the wall magnetic so you can apply it.
Okay.
So I'm sure that there has to be some kind of custom kit you would buy for that wall.
So does the power for the screen itself come through the magnetic resonance as well, or how does that work?
Yes, that's what it says. It says basically, yeah, because the way that the OLED displays work is that it uses the semiconductor materials and light-emitting diodes, and it runs an electrical current through it, so that's how it makes its light. And because of the way it's set up, that's why it is thinner and it weighs less, and it doesn't require backlighting. So that's why you can make it really flat and have it powered that way, which is great.
Yeah, I actually see more and more, and of course, more of this as well. And of course, if you're tired of the way the wall looks, if you're tired of the white wall, you can change it to brown, or you can change it to a kaleidoscope of colors or whatever. So when you're not watching the television or the entertainment aspect of it, you can change the color of your room however you want to.
Right, exactly. And I wanted to get better. I want us to be able to have, that entire wall or something that almost like a paint in the future. We could be able to paint something or paint a wall and turn it into a screen. I believe it will happen. I mean, it sounds very much like a tall order right now, but we're getting there. I mean, even in the last 10 years, seeing how now you can have these, simple peel-back wallpaper-like televisions, I think that in another 10 years, it's going to be amazing how we'll be able to watch our entertainment at home.
Well, and of course the jellyfish screens as well. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're a very, very pliable screen that you can just roll up and put in your pocket or whatever, and then you unfold them, and it syncs with your device. So all of a sudden you can have a 20 by 30 screen that you just put in your pocket when you're done because it folds back up. You know, these are the cool things that are coming out.
Definitely. And here's another one too. Now, what if we didn't have to rely on anything physical at all? What if we could wear something like Microsoft HoloLens, right, which are like those augmented reality goggles by Microsoft, which are coming out next year, hopefully. And I saw a demo at Microsoft Build. It was a couple months ago, and it was amazing. Watching the demo of Microsoft HoloLens was so cool because what the guy did was he walked into his, the stage became his living room. So he walks into his living room, and the way he has it set up is that we put the goggles on, and you're looking around your room, but you can actually have your apps displayed as actual objects in your living room. But they're not real objects, obviously. They're just digital objects. So one app could be a dog that's sitting on your floor, and another app, which is your Windows Media Player, could look like a framed picture on your wall. And what was really neat is that you could pick up the framed picture, which is your Windows Media Player, and have it walk with you into any room that you go. So your media cannot just stay in one room. You can actually take it with you as you go. And let's say you walk from your living room to your kitchen and want to also make that picture full screen, so you could actually look at your kitchen wall. You walk from the living room to your kitchen wall, and you can actually turn your entire kitchen wall into one giant theater screen, and that's really cool.
Very interesting. And you brought up another point too. I wonder how glass technology will be changed. I mean, and I mean glasses themselves, and maybe contact lenses in the future. Maybe we get to the point where we don't even need TV screens anymore. That your glasses, you just put on a set of glasses, and you can watch your movies that way.
Exactly, and it's all going to be controllable, and it is. We could go from any room we want to, and just turn any wall into an instant television or monitor or anything we want.
Yep, very cool. All right, we got 2 minutes left, so what else do you got for us?
Okay, so one last thing. All right, Oculus Rift, virtual reality movies.
Yes.
I am so excited for virtual reality movies. I think it's going to be so cool. And Oculus Rift, earlier this year, announced that they have a new in-house production company called Story Studio, and they are producing virtual reality movies that we will be able to watch and interact with using Oculus Rift.
And I will say, since I have actually experienced the new Oculus Rift, it's amazing. And you put this, Jim, if you're not familiar with it, you actually put this device over your head, and and it's kind of like a goggles, and it's just amazing. And you put your hand out, you can interact with things.
Yeah.
I was ducking as a dinosaur was coming at me in this room. you know that it's not real, but you can't stop your body from reacting to it. That's what's amazing about it. Or that you're falling from a building and you do feel like you're falling. It's amazing.
You could teach somebody kung fu or boxing with that.
You could very easily. Yes.
You could have a virtual boxing match.
Yes. There's a lot of things you can do. So yeah, absolutely. Katie, you got 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Oh, wow. Well, anyway, there's already one movie that's been released. It's only an animated short film that was released by Story Studio, and you can go check it out. You can visit storystudio.oculus.com and go find out more about their first movie, which is animated short called Henry, and it's about a balloon-loving hedgehog, which is really, really, really cute. It looks like a Pixar type of movie.
Cool.
And what's cool is that Henry, the hedgehog, looks at you in the movie. It's really, really cool to see.
And your website again, Katie?
Oh, my website?
Yes.
My website is futuristmm.com. Go
All right,
check it out. Sign up for the Awesome Future newsletter. Oh.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Jim. See
Thank you.
everybody next week.